It's Mr. Bowen here, getting ready for day 2 of classroom setup. And today is going to be a very busy day. I have, in the last video, you saw that I had the layout kind of finalized. However, thanks to a lot of suggestions and feedback from friends in the comments, I have a few ideas of what I'm going to do in the front of the room. One of the ideas is, well, actually, the one idea that I'm definitely going to do that I've heard from a couple people was taking my desk and turning it to the wall. I've always, I don't know, I don't like having my desk to the wall like that, because if I do ever need to sit down at my desk during the class time, I have my back to the students. But like I've said before, I generally do not sit down at my desk during instructional hours, so that really isn't that big of a deal. The ideas that I'm going to try, the two different ideas that I'm going to test out today, one is having the small group table on the left side of the room by where my desk is, and having one teacher area, which I'm intrigued about. I've never done that before ever in my career, so that could be something that I might try out. Or the other thing is, just after I've turned my desk to the wall by the corner, switching the easel and the document camera table, and having the easel right next to the computer with a nice teacher chair, which I need to get, because I just don't have one. I haven't needed one for a little while, so I might get one either today or next week. So I think those are the two ideas as far as the layout is that I'm going to try, is either having the small group table over by my desk, or doing the and if the small group table's over by my desk, having the easel over in that corner over there. Those are two ideas that I think I'm going to try today, and see how I feel about which one of those ideas I like. I really appreciate the feedback. I really love the comments. Those are just some things I never thought about before. So that's the start of what I'm going to do on day 2. Also, what I'm planning on doing today is a lot of printing and maybe bulletin boards if I can get to it today. Again, most of my classroom decor has disappeared somewhere. It's either in my old classroom that I left, or it's just I've handed it off to other teachers that I've had as student teachers over the years. I try to I try to leave my student teachers with things that they can start off right away with. So most of my decor is gone. So I did spend a little bit of money on teacher pay teachers. I found some really cute decor. I don't remember the name of it off at the top of my head. I will link it in the description of this video. It's very nice and bright. They're dots for the theme, and my theme is, of course, all stars, but I can use those dots as like, oh, they're the stars. And mainly because that decor seems to work with any theme that you have. I really like the color, so I think I'm going to try that and use the decor that I got from Teachers Pay Teachers. And again, I will link it in the description. So, and then if I have time after all the printing, if I have time after adjusting my layout, then I'm going to try and get to bulletin boards. I cannot say enough great things about my principal already. Not only has she been very gracious in purchasing a bunch of games and centers for me, which haven't come in yet, but she texted me yesterday and she got all those things. But she also, for the school, she doesn't buy just the regular generic bulletin board paper that you would normally see in schools. She buys like the good stuff, the fadeless stuff, the better than paper stuff for bulletin boards. and she told me where I can find it, but there's only because she buys the good stuff, it's in high demand, so there's only a certain number of colors. She said she doesn't remember what colors there are. So I'm also going to take a look at the supply room today and see what colors there are. If there's not colors that I want, then I will tell her what colors I want and then purchase them that way. I kind of made an oopsie and purchased some already, but I don't think it's going to be enough for what I want to do. Maybe it will be, but I have only a couple bulletin boards in my classroom, but I do want to do some makeshift bulletin boards, and I think I have an idea for my cabinets. I'm going to put the bulletin board paper on the cabinets to do the word wall. So that's a plan of action. I don't want to ramble too much before we get into the classroom, but step 1, organize and adjust the layout. Step 2, printing, probably laminating. If I can get my laminator to work today. I haven't used it in a long time. And then bulletin boards. We'll see if anything else happens after that, but I'm excited. I'm also, one more thing before we head into the classroom and before we go, is I also plan on looking on getting some bins. I need a bunch of bins. There were some that I'm sure you saw in day 1 that I have, but I need a lot, you know. I do have, luckily I kept all of my individual book bins for my students when they go book shopping. But I need library bins for all of my books. I need bins for math manipulatives for that cube shelf that was in day 1. I need bins for holding pencils. There's all kinds of different bins and containers that you need in the classroom. So my plan is to go to a couple different stores today. Dollar Tree, if you have Dollar Tree in your area, is great for like just generic classroom bins. I know it's kind of cheap, but especially if you're a teacher on a budget, that's the way to go, at least starting out. And I am, again, as I said, this journey is starting over again. That's where I'm going to go. If you have any other suggestions of where you can get cheap containers, bins, things that you can use to hold things in classrooms, definitely leave me a comment. I've been loving the feedback and the responses. So, all right, here we go. I'm gonna do a little traveling, do a little shopping, and then on to day 2. All right, so we're finally in. The doors to the hallway that my room is in were stuck, and so they had a little bit of an issue to try and get them open, but I'm finally in. I went to Dollar Tree. And was able to get some bins and some borders. I love Dollar Tree. I was able to get a lot for very little bit of money. This is not a product placement or anything. This is just me saying, like, thanking us for Dollar Tree for being a teacher on a budget. But I'll show you what I got. Quite a few bins from my classroom. I do have some leftover ones too that were either leftover from my previous classroom from a year and a half ago, or some bins that were left here in the classroom from the previous teacher. This was actually a 3rd grade. I found out this was a 3rd grade classroom last year. So this isn't exactly a brand new classroom, but it's fairly new. Like, this whole building that I'm in is been completely remodeled within like a year or 2 ago. So, but anyway, this room used to be a 3rd grade room. The teacher that was in it's moving to 1st grade, and they're having 2nd grade in this room now. So the plan of action is to move my teacher desk, rearrange that, deal with the whole front of the room situation, go through the bins that I purchased, maybe do bulletin boards. I've not yet decided. I looked at some of the colors that were available. I think the dark blue might fit my theme. I don't know. I'm trying to be a little bit more not, I can't think of the word. I'm trying to be just a little bit more like strategic with the colors that I'm using, make it a little bit more less haphazard, look like it's been haphazardly put together, but at the same time, like, time and money also play into the factor. So I'll take a look at some of the butcher paper, the bulletin board paper, and see if I still want to use it after I've done a few other things. So let me turn the camera around so you can just see where we are at from day one, and then we'll get started. So this is coming into my room. Again, these are how I left the tables. I think I like them like this. Somebody had mentioned a pinwheel design. I guess I could try that. I think I spent so much time getting these tables to where they're at right now, and I feel like they're well spaced out enough that I think it's gonna be okay. That I just don't really feel like finagling it, at least for this year. Maybe next year, as I feel like I understand these tables a little bit better, I might try it, but I think the way that they are right now is all right. It's not great, but it's all right. So let me show you really quick what I got at Dollar Tree. I got some just extra borders just in case I decide I want to use them for a makeshift bulletin board. Put that stuff on the cabinets up here, maybe. I think I'm gonna put my word wall up there. Now I've learned a lot about how to teach students sight words, high frequency words through the science of reading. I still plan on using a word wall just to have those high frequency words up there as a place of reference, but I do know that now when it comes to teaching high frequency words, that you really want to make sure that you're teaching the students the sounds and the letter combinations, regardless of if it's a pattern that you've taught the students yet. So I still will have a word wall. I'm also going to use my sound spelling cards that I have to make like a sound wall to show the students the different vowel digraphs, the different consonant blends, the different things that they need to know for phonics. So anyway, I feel like I'm rambling a little bit, but anyway, these are the bins I got. I've got the borders. If I decide that I'm gonna do some bulletin board stuff today, I have a phonics manual. This book by Wiley Blevins, A Fresh Look at Phonics, has really kind of changed my life as far as teaching phonics, teaching those foundational skills. I would highly recommend this book to anybody that is interested in how to better strengthen their students' foundational skills at the K2 level. Over here, I'm going to figure out my whole small group situation, whether I'm going to leave this table here or I'm going to move it over here after I've turned my desk. So the first plan of action is turning my desk, adjusting the layout a little bit more. Then I'm going to see if I can do some printing and organizing of the bins. So here we go.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know.
All right, so that took less time than I thought it was gonna take, and I'm pretty pleased with the results. There was a couple different pieces of feedback. Both comments had mentioned turning the desk over up to the corner, which is what I did. And the other piece of feedback was perhaps moving the small group table over by my desk and then moving the easel over to the other corner. I think I'm actually not going to do that. A couple reasons. One, I think the table would just again take up too much room for this area by my desk. And two, because I still really like that area over there for my small group, just because of the drawers and that little counter right there. So I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see exactly what I did really quick. So I did indeed turn my desk around, and it is now over here in the corner, and I like it. It's not what I usually do, but I think it's a great idea, and I appreciate the feedback that I got from everybody about that. Then I moved this little extra table over here. I think it's a good spot for it. Whether I'm going to use it for just like a little calming area, a little extra space to if somebody just needs a break, I think this will just stay over here. And then look at the extra space it made. And now I have a little teaching area right by the rug. And the reason why I also like this, the extra space, is because there is another side to this easel that I can easily turn the easel around in the moment if I need to do my anchor charts. So thank you everybody for that bit of feedback. This really helped solve the front of the room issue that I was having. And I can definitely keep my small group area over here, which I think will be great. I think it'll work out fine. I moved the wheelie cart over here so I can just have some more supplies for copies for whatever I have planned for each day, as well as any extra small group things that I need. So this is where I'm at currently, and I think it looks great. So now the next plan is to sort of go through what bins I have, kind of get them all out, take a look at what I have available, see where I want to put certain things, and then maybe start just like setting up the books into the bins. It will not be organized by any stretch of the imagination because, again, as I had mentioned before, my wife really likes organizing books and she's really good at it. So I'm going to take her up on that offer and sort of let her tackle the library, but at least I can kind of see visually what I want the library to look like and see how many bins I have and see if I need to get any more, or if I have too many, then I can just either save them for later or and hoard them or return them. I think I'll probably just end up hoarding them. So that is what I'm going to do based on however much I get done. Then the next plan of action will be to tackle the printing of my decor and see if I can start putting up maybe some bulletin boards. I have, as I said before, I already kind of ahead of time purchased the Better Than Paper bulletin board paper that I'm going to use for my 4 bulletin boards. What I'm thinking for these bulletin boards, one's going to be math, one's going to be ELA, one might be writing over here, and I think one over here is going to be just information, some other pieces of things that I might want on this bulletin board here. Then I'm thinking word wall is coming up here. I'm gonna use butcher paper for the word wall. I'm thinking I might use the fadeless bulletin board paper that my school has here. It turns out it's not Better Than Paper, but it's pretty close. It's good stuff, but I do, like I said, I have so much to do that I want to make sure that I just get into it and get started now. And the color that I found might fit with my theme, so we'll see. And then over here, I'm thinking I'm going to put my sound either right here, dealing with the brick, or maybe right here for the sound wall. Any suggestions though? I definitely will take them. So I'm going to go ahead. We're gonna get started on the tackling of the bins.
If I will ever figure out where the road goes, even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high, even if the sky is falling down. Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly.
Okay, so I have got a good start on the library. I have enough bins for the library and a bunch of bins left over for classroom, just storing classroom materials and everything else, which I don't even know where I'm going with that yet. But let me show you, again, let me turn you around to show you what I've done. I'm sweaty because I had to adjust the shelves on the counter over here, and they were not going in very easily. I'm not sure if you could see that from the time lapse, but let me turn things around for you. So these bins in my patterned order are going to be the students' book bins. I set out 24 of them since there are 24 seats in my class. I have no idea if I'm going to have 24 students. Maybe I'll have 23, maybe I'll have 22. I'm hoping I don't have more than 24 because then I'll have to do a little bit of adjusting with the seating, not too much. I think I'll be okay. But anyway, this is what I did. I have these bins and I lowered the shelves one notch so that those big book, the picture book bins can fit comfortably in there without kids trying to pull it out and accidentally breaking books or dropping the entire tub. Over here, I think, is just another added shelf for my library. I'm thinking these bins up here are going to be bins for chapter books, bins for decodables if I need to use some decodables, and then these bins down here are just going to be some more books and whatnot. I, again, still haven't figured out the organization system. We'll get to that when the time comes. I'm saving this shelf over here for just some extra storage. Probably this is where I'm going to store some of my games and whatnot that I get once they come in. And then, as I said before, this cube shelf is going to be for math. So we're reaching about 12 o'clock. I came in here a little bit later because I went shopping for the bins and stuff, but I feel like I've gotten a lot done already in the 2 hours that I've been here. I'm gonna have lunch and then sort of get back to figuring out the bin situation and get to printing as well. So I'll see you after lunch.
Down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I really wanna know if I will ever figure out where the road goes.
All right, so I think, stopped at doing bins and everything for now. I was just kind of gallivanting around there for a minute, just clearing up some things that I had spread out all over the floor. Let me turn you around so you can see exactly what I've done so far. You saw me move all of these books from the tables and spread out all over the floor here. These are the books for my library. They're going to stay here for the time being until the such time when they are sorted and organized into where their category, their genres, and where I want them all to go. You also saw me peel the sticky, the label off of these caddies that I got from Dollar Tree. Says easy to peel. It's not easy to peel my foot, not so much. So you saw me kind of fiddle with that for a while. This is, I think, how the groups are gonna be with their supplies. Pencils are gonna be here, glue sticks, scissors will be right here. Just so that anything that they need, it's easy to access. I don't have to go all over the room looking for them. I don't love the way this looks, but again, kind of on a budget, so I'm making do with what I have for the time being for this year. I do plan on doing an Amazon wish list, but again, I'm not sure exactly. I gotta prioritize what I want as opposed to what I need. So I think this is the way that my tables are going to look for the time being. So I got these all set up. I checked to see what it would look like with the glue sticks in there. And then eventually I'll put the rest of the supplies. Crayons will go in there as well. This is what's left of my bins that I did for my run today at Dollar Tree. These are what's left. So still trying to figure out what I'm going to do with all those. These are these bins, which I brought from my previous life, my previous classroom. That's what's left over from the student book bins, as well as I'm going to use these green bins for decodables and chapter books. I put these little 2 containers over here. I don't know if they're going to fit pencils. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do the whole sharp and dull, that whole system, where if a student finds that their pencils are broken, they've ran out of pencils at their caddy, they come back here and grab a sharp one and put their broken one into the dull container. The reason why I have it here is because the only easy access plug is down here. I think behind the, yep, it's here. And so I'm gonna have to plug in a pencil sharpener, an electric pencil sharpener, and set it right here. Not great, but sadly, the only plugs that I really have are at the front of the room, and there are no plugs on this counter. There are no outlets on this counter. So that really kind of gets rid of my plan of having like a pencil sharpener on the counter with those 2 bins. So that, I think, is where the pencil sharpener is going to go. And even over here, like here's another outlet. But again, I don't really want to move this table over here, because then we have a problem with this. If you have any suggestions, I'll take them for sure. Like the comments that I had last time was very helpful for the way that this was set up. I've done nothing with the small group table right now, so this is pretty much stayed the same. So the plan is to do some printing now, and I'm not going to record that. You really don't want to see that boring process, because it's going to be a lot of me printing my labels, running down to the office, taking them, bringing them back. I'm just going to print out everything that I need for now, cut them out, and see if I can get some labeling done. I don't know if I'm going to get to doing any of making the makeshift bulletin boards or anything like that. because I'm getting tired. Poor Zachary's been here. You know, he's been very good playing and everything, but it's not a lot for him to do right now. So I might do a bunch of printing and then call it a day. I will let you know. Okay, so I am here on the floor. I was able to figure out the printer on my computer and was able to print out my word wall signage from Miss Jacobs Little Learners. I will link the classroom decor that this came from. So I'm going to laminate. I have some sheets left. I'm going to laminate what I can for the word wall and maybe start on the word wall. And I think I'll probably call it a day. Gotten a lot done, even though it compared to day one, it does not look like I got as much done, but again, I still got quite a bit done. So I am going to go ahead and start laminating, cutting, and see what I can get done. I might tackle the word wall on the cabinets today. We'll see how I feel.
Goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is...
Okay, so I'm finishing this last one right here for now because I ran out of laminator sheets and I have all these printed that still need to be laminated. So I'm running into a problem. I want to get this word wall done. Don't know if it's going to happen today. Generally, I prefer the personal individual laminators just because they are easier to handle, easier to work with. The laminating, the lamination is much thicker, more sturdy for what you want for classroom decor, and I generally prefer it. However, again, we're running up against time and money. Those two big issues when it comes to preparing for the year. Because I have so much to do, because I'm in a sense starting over in a way, I think I'm going to look to see if there is a laminator here in my new building. If there is, I think I'm going to try and at least finish the word wall, maybe some other classroom decor, but then I'm going to call it a day. So with that being said, let's go ahead and just kind of review before we end the day. And I don't know if I mentioned this at the beginning of the video, but again, this is a series of my classroom setup. This is day 2. So if you have not seen day 1, definitely check it out, and I will make sure that it gets linked somewhere either on this video or below. So let's take a look and see what has been done today. The main thing has been these shelves have been adjusted. Added all these bins. These are going to be my students' book bins where they go shopping for the books they want to read during silent reading time or during literacy workshop. These are going to be the bins for chapter books, decodables, and then these are just extra book bins. I have a plan for a pencil sharpener to be here with either these containers or maybe some bigger ones, be a sharp and dull station so that students can just go get a pencil when they need one and don't need to keep saying that their pencil's broken. I moved all of my library books over here in preparation for them to be sorted. I got out these caddies for each table, checked for the glue sticks, peeled those labels. At the beginning of the video, I opened up this front part of the room over here thanks to some great suggestions from the viewers of the day one video. And that solved a big problem. So I think at this point I'm going to end day two video after I finish. I'm going to end the video now, but I'm going to still try and see if I can finish getting these taken care of and maybe print some other decor. I don't believe I'm going to put up any other classroom decor for the time being, just because, you know, it's already 1:30. We're getting close to 2 o'clock. You know, eventually I need to go pick up my daughter from daycare. But I have gotten a lot done. I think I don't think I'm coming in tomorrow. So day 3 won't be until next week sometime, either Monday or Tuesday. And I don't want to come in over the weekend, one, because it's the weekend, and two, because they have the hallway floors that they're cleaning out there in my hall, and they really want the weekend for the floors to dry out. So this is going to end this video. I appreciate everybody watching. If you like what you've seen or just want to continue to follow me on my journey back into the classroom, make sure you like the video and subscribe. And we'll see you next week for day 3.